Hello everyone, I'm Jilson. Download the source file below in the description. Let's get started. I have a worksheet reservations here. In this lesson, I will show how to format text, how to adjust your worksheet to better presentation. Here at first, I have the cell A1. You can see here the text Hotel Smart Miami is more larger than the cell width. With this, the text continue in the next cell. But if I click in another cell, B1, I can type normal text here and press enter. The text is still here, I can see in the formula bar, but behind B1 cell. I undo this. I will show how to use text across multiple cells. I can click, hold my mouse and drag to select more than one column. And here I have in the home tab, I have this option here. Merge and center. I can see a lot of options. I use the first, merge and center. I can click here. Excel combine all these cells as a only cell. If you click here, you can see the description what this command do. If you want to unmerge this cell, I will click here, unmerge this cell. The Excel restore all columns. But I want to this, I can click here and merge and center. Now I will show how to format text here. I can click and hold the mouse and drag to select multiple rows, and then here font family I can click. If I hold my mouse over this font, Excel changes and show me my text after this change. You can scroll with the mouse and hover the mouse over the font family to see all kind of fonts and select which font is best for you. I scroll back. I use in this project about it, select this font. I can change the font size. In this case, I can click here and Excel display the font size. I can use one or this. I'll stay with 11 size. You can use these buttons to increase or decrease the font size. And you can change the font column. If I click here, I can change the font column. I will select this font column. And you can change the alignment from the font. I will click in this title. I can left align or center or right. I can center again. If I resize this cell, I will show how to do this in the next lesson. But for now, only for you understand, at the top this is bottom align, center and top align. I use undo to go back to the previous. If you click here in this arrow in the right hand bottom font settings, I have other options. For example, I can strike through, I can see this subscript and subscript. I just click undo this and clicking OK. Another important feature here on Excel is the Mini Toolbar. You know how to change the font family, how to increase or decrease the font size. But imagine you stay in another tab, for example. You stay here on the data tab using the data tools, and I want to change this text quickly because it's not easy to read this text because the font column. I can click with the right button. Here at the top I have the basic tools available. I can bold this font or unbold. I can center or not. I can change the font from here, change this. I can change the size. This is very useful because with Mini Toolbar it's not necessary to go to the home to have these options available. I will click with the right button again, and this time I will change the font color for this to more easy to read. And if I want to customize this column, I have two options. Here with the Mini Toolbar, I can click here and select standard color from this list, or I can use one of these recent colors, or I can click here more color. If I click here in more column, I can have standard color with a lot of options. You can click and select. If I click OK, Excel will apply this color, but I can custom this color. I can click and hold my mouse and drag to create a new color. Here is the current at the bottom and the new is the top. I can click OK. Excel will apply this new column. This is available here too on the home tab. If I click here home tab and click here, I have this option, more column. You can select which column you want. This is another important feature here on Excel. In the next lesson, I will show others information, how to insert, delete, others information available here. You can learn more in the next lesson, but for now the right button of the mouse is very important. Quickly access more common tools, features available for formatting, for manipulate the worksheet here on Excel. Another important resource here is background. I will click here on Hotel Smart Miami. On the left of the font column I have the fill column. If I click here, I have the list of columns I can apply for this cell. I use this and I will change the font column for this font column. If I select another column, if I click here and click here and the icon, Excel apply this column quickly. But I will undo this and undo this. This column represents the column is selected. I will continue select this. Excel changes to display the column is selected. With the background column, you have the same tools available here. You can click in more column. You can customize your column. It's the same options you have for font column. You have for fill column. I will select this again. I will apply this column, but for now I will change it one level. I will select this. In the font column, I will click in the symbol and I use this. Here, I will select another background column. In this case, I will select the first option here. I will show how to use a border around your data. Imagine I want to choose a border around this cell. Here in the Home tab, I have this icon. If I click here, I have bottom border, top border. You can select which border you want. No border, all borders. If I click all borders and click around Excel, display now a border here. I will click here again. You can select outside border. Imagine I select 4 cells, for example, to be more clear. If I click all borders around all these cells. Select here and no border first, and then select outside border. Excel put all border only outside of this select. I can select shrink outside border. You have different options here. You can select the line column of this border. I can draw this border. I will do this. I will click here. If I click here more borders, you can have format cell. You can select from inside, like I'll show you before, outline, non-border, and you can select the style of this border. You have different options to adjust here the color of this border. If I want, select this. I will put this inside to more clear. You can select the style of this border. If I want to select this or this border, you can use this style for this border. And I click here. Now I can see this border. But if I wanted to remove this, I can have 2 options. I click here and choose erase border. I can delete this manually. I can delete one part of this border, or I can press escape on keyboard, select all. Here I have this option. If I click all, clear everything. I have include the text. This is not what I want. If I click here, I click clear format. I clear everything and the text is continue here. I will do this. You can select no border and Excel remove. I will save this. Now let's take a look how to format dates and numbers. I have a number of the total. Here at the top I have the $sign account number format as a dollar, euro or other currency. I click here, the $sign display on the left and the value on the right. If I click in this arrow, I can select English, United States or other format. You have options to find more account formats, but I'll select United States format. If I want to change this dollar position, here at the bottom I have this icon, number format. If I click here, click and drag this window, I have account with 2 decimal places, the symbol English, United States, but you can select the currency. I have the options for negative format or display in red or minus in front, but for normal values I want to select these options. If I click here, the $sign now is close to the value. Here at the number ID, I don't need to change this, but if you want to change it, here at the top I have general format. I can define this as a number if I want. If I define this as a number, Excel put the decimal place here because now is a number, but I want to undo this. Is not necessary for this value. In this case here I want to select this is value, and now if I select this is value and click to format, I click here, and now Excel format as current, and now I can select this data. I told you before, data is number internal on Excel. This number represent data. I have other date format. I can select the list, click, hold the mouse and scroll down to select the entire list. Here at the top on number format, I have the options to select short date for this information or long date. I click here long date. I have this date as a long date, but I will select short date. And if I click here I have options to time format or percentage, fractions, scientific. You can select which options you prefer for your data, but for now it's okay. You can see now this column with changes. I will explain how to manipulate this in the next lesson, but for now one final thing I want to show is to select this and apply this format. To do this, I can click here. Here I have on the clipboard on the home tab the format painter. If I click here, this copy this format, I can click, drag and select the entire row. And now if I click Excel apply the same format, I will save this. Now let's take a look how to change the size and the width of the column and rows. Here at the top, if I click in the first cell, I hover my mouse between number 1 and number 2, the mouse icon change. If I click and hold my mouse, I can see the height and I can click and drag, resize my row height. If I click and drag, scroll up, I will choose 26. I want to change the font size, I will choose 18. Please do the same. And I want to change for the font to Abdi. I use this font now. This is how to change the font size. If I want to change vertical alignment, I can click here, Hotel Smart Miami. If I want to change the column width, I can hover my mouse between the column B and C. My mouse change. You can see the difference. Now I have this icon. If I click here between the column, I can click and drag to adjust the column width. If I want to change multiple columns, I can click, hold my mouse and drag to select multiple columns, and between any column I can click and drag. When I release, all columns are resized at the same time. Here at the home tab, I have this group cells. I have this icon here. If I click here, a lot of options available. Whole height, auto fit, whole height, column width, auto fit, column width. If I click here, Excel adjusts the column width automatically for me. You can explore this. It's easy to understand. Only click and you can adjust. I'll click here. Imagine you have this column. I adjust this. This sign appears here. This is telling me the width, the column is not enough to show our information. This occurs here with the total and with the date. To correct this with the column selected, I double click here and Excel auto-fit the column width necessary for display all information. It's amazing. Imagine I have this situation. I click here, I click between and adjust this, adjust this. My table is not well. I can click, hold my mouse, select the entire table. Doesn't matter. Any column, you can double click and Excel automatically adjusts everything for you. You have this option, manually adjust the columns, or you can click and format and auto fit column width. You have options to default width. You can see here. You can change. You have all options available here. I will make some adjustment here. I think I can increase the width, the date for more clear this information. And if I want, I can adjust the rows. If I select this and double click, Excel again adjusts this automatically and resize the row height. I will save this. Now I will show you how to insert new rows, new columns. If I click here and I want to insert a new row here, I will click with the right button. Then in this menu I have this option, insert. I have many options here. For insert an entire row, I will click here and click OK. Excel, insert a new rows here. I will undo this. But imagine this situation. I have this table here and I want to insert a new row here. If I insert a new row here, I click with the right button and insert entire row and click OK. This will affect not only this table, but will affect the other table right here. I undo this to escape this and insert a new row only in this table. I will select the entire row and then click with the right button. It shows insert and shows shift cells down and click OK. And now I insert a new rows only here and don't affect the other table. I will undo this. Now a new situation. Imagine I wanted to move this information from here to the right. I can select the cells I want to move and click with the right button, shows insert, shift the cell down or the right, and Excel open one space here and the data are moving to the right. I can undo this, click with the right button, insert, shift cell down, and Excel shift the cell down. I'll undo this. Now let's see how to insert column. I'll click with the right button here and insert. Excel, insert a new column here. Undo this. If I wanted to insert another column here, right click, insert. Excel, insert a new column here. It's easy and powerful. And if you want to resize this, I can click and drag around the tree width and release the mouse, save the file. With this you can manipulate rows and columns and insert new information on this new space. Now I have another situation. I want to copy this worksheet. To do this, I'll click with the right button, then I have this option, move or copy. If I click here, I have this window. With this, I can check this, create a copy of this worksheet and click in OK. I have a new worksheet with the same date as the original worksheet. This is very useful. Imagine you create one worksheet for January and after finish this worksheet, you want to create a copy for February or March. It's easy to copy this worksheet and only replace the data with the respective month. But another important feature here is how to move this worksheet, you can click, hold your mouse and drag for a new position. This icon, if I release my mouse, this worksheet will stay here. Then I can click on this worksheet with the right button and I go to move or copy, and I can select move to the end. I click OK, and now my worksheet is at the end of the list. I prefer click and drag. When I stay in the position where I want to release this worksheet, I release the mouse and the worksheet is in the correct position. This is easy to do. With this you can manipulate the worksheet. Another important thing I want to show here is how to apply one color for this worksheet. With the right button we have a tab color. I want to select this color for this worksheet and click. When I click in another worksheet, Excel apply this color for this worksheet. This is important to differentiate between worksheet. I choose another color. Previous I already select this color, now I select this color. If I want another copy of this worksheet, move or copy, I want to select the copy, but now I select move to the end, another copy. This worksheet I have now at the end. I click again, tab color, and then another color. With this we can differentiate all worksheets with different color for represent different data. Is interesting. I use this resource all the time. Now I will show you how to rename this worksheet. To rename one worksheet, right click on the worksheet. I have this option, rename. If I click, I can edit reservation to and press enter. Another way to rename on worksheet is double click. You can delete complete the text and type a new text and press enter. Or you can double click with the mouse where you want to edit it and type new information. This is easy to rename one worksheet. To delete one worksheet, you click with the right button and choose delete. One interesting thing here, when the worksheet has data on it, Excel display an alert message. Microsoft Excel will permanently delete this worksheet. Do you want to continue? Delete. Undo. Don't work with this. Pay attention before delete your worksheet. If I want to create one worksheet, I create here in this symbol. Then I have a new worksheet. Create again. I have a new worksheet. And if I want to delete one worksheet but not have content on this worksheet, I simply click with the right button, choose delete. Excel don't display alert about this. I will delete this worksheet and delete this worksheet again. This is how to manipulate worksheet here. Now let's take a look another important resources here on Excel, conditional formatting. Imagine these sales. I have a lot of sales, but I wanted to analyze these sales. I wanted to highlight the high sales or the lower sales. I have one resources here, conditional format. First, to select, click, hold my mouse and scroll down to select the entire list of my reservation. And then here at the home tab, I have conditional format. If I click here, I have a lot of options here. Highlight the cells, greater than, less than, between, equals. I can inform Excel to highlight this information with this condition. Top 10 buttons. If I select one of these top 10 items, I click here, Excel highlight these items. I can increase or decrease this number or reduce this number. I choose the format I want to highlight. This is yellow, green. You can select on this list, and after that you can click in OK. And now Excel differentiates this cell for another cell. I undo this, click again in conditional format. I have bars. I can hover my mouse and now I see difference between gradient fields, solid fields to highlight this information. I have color scales. If I choose one, I can highlight this information. You can choose from different lists. I have icons. I can use it to analyze this date. You can use symbols to represent this date. You can choose different options. But for now, I want to highlight with greater than. If the cells is greater than 5,000, I want to this highlight. I use the criteria 5,000. I wanted to highlight this reservation, but I use a green for this reservation because this is amazing for me. I click OK, and now I can create another rules between 4 and 5. I can click here. I inform the value. In this case, between 4,000 and 4,099. Between this amount, I can select this as yellow, for example. And then you can continue create new rows for lower than. I can click here, highlight, less than 4,000. I use the light red is okay for me, and clicking OK, and now I have a better analysis of my data. I can see quickly differences between highest reservations, intermediate reservations, and lower reservations. I can see all my dates more easily to understand. I will save this. This is important features here on Excel. After you apply a conditional format, if you wanted to remove this conditional format, you can select the entire interval again. You have two options. First, you can click here and click clean all format. With this, you remove conditional format, undo this. But now here on conditional format, if you click here, manage rules, you can see all your rules. You can select and delete rules, and delete the rules, and clicking OK. And now you remove all these conditional format. I will undo this because I want this conditional format. I will save this. You have another important features you can use to analyze your data. That's it. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe in my channel so you can receive new contents like this every weekend. And if you want to continue practice with me, you can watch my full courses Excel for Beginners, completely free, with the link below in the description, and you can see the link at the right corner. See you in the next lesson. Bye.